sometimes see people doing a show-like thing and they dress poorly, so your appearance is great, but you know your field. You know your field, and I think to say something on this subject for such a short period, that's a challenge.
I think the speaker, Rudolf, is absolutely a very pleasant person. The personality he's got is absolutely where the people adore him, and he's a real gentleman. He is very professional in what he does. The message he carries over is absolutely phenomenal as well. But overall, I think the presentation of the speaker makes you feel more comfortable. It looks professional, and you can see he's got the experience as well. And it catches your eye and the interest as well.
How much passion people have for their business now. And I've got the opportunity, and I'm fortunate to talk to multiple companies and individuals around their passion and how they can take that to the next level. And today I want to just share with you 3 things which I believe is important. They say if you are born, you are born with 2 fears, only 2. And the first fear is a fear of a loud noise. Now, you know when you go with a baby like, the baby is like, goes like that. And that's a natural instinct. The second fear is a fear of falling. Everybody is afraid to fall. So those are the only 2 fears that you are born with. But all other fears are self-imposed. You taught yourself to be afraid of certain things. You're not born with those fears. And I think once people understand that, they overcome a lot of things. And today I want to just touch on 3 things which causes people to fail. Now I always say failure is a big word for most people. That is why most people don't want to do their own thing. They don't want to do their own business, don't want to go into business because they're afraid of failing. If you have a nice job, secure job, why would you want to do your own job or have your own business? Most of you, 100% of you, have your own businesses. I have to applaud you for that. Failure is basically a 7-letter word that has absolutely no meaning or no effect whatsoever on your life until you decide to give up. Before that time, before you give up, failure doesn't have any effect on your life. It's up to you. If you decide to give up, you will fail. And I can imagine it's not always easy out there doing your own business, trying to make a living for yourself. But I see a lot of positive attitude here today, which makes a massive difference. It's about what happens here, not what happens here. And I see a lot of heart here today. There's 3 main reasons, in my opinion, for failure. And I want to run through them quickly. The first one is a lack of a clear strategy. And the second one is not understanding the true value of time as an employee or employer, or for that matter, a business owner. Not understanding what's the value of time. And the third one is becoming a little bit overconfident. And I will demonstrate that at the end. So if we look at the first one, I'm sure we all know this gentleman. He's well known, he's quite funny, but I suppose you haven't seen him like this before. Okay. What I want to demonstrate here is basically, on your left you will have work, and on your right you will have your personal life. Now we all know in our businesses that we have, you might work on your own, you might have people working for you, but there's structure. There's a business system. And you plan. There's always perfect planning. Because, I mean, if you fail to plan, you're basically planning to fail. Like the old saying goes. And you have a thorough business plan. Why? Because you need to make money. And you revisit that every single day or month to make sure you're on the right track. in your business. If you don't, by the way, I suggest you do. The third thing is this direction. You know what you want to do. Even if it is a certain amount of sales that you want to generate, you know. Mike showed me this morning, they got a massive board at the office where they calculate the sales and it's updated daily. There's direction. And you have a contingency plan. So you basically, it's like a fail-safe. If something doesn't work, I'll fall back on it. To give you an example, your contingency plan, how serious you take it as a business owner. If your turnover is down by 10% from one month to the next month, then it's not a big deal. But if you work for someone and your salary is halved, that's a big deal. Hence you have a contingency plan. And you're performance driven. That's why you're in business. Yes, we had a nice chat this morning. Everybody introduced themselves. But when you walk out here, you're performance driven. Otherwise, nobody's going to pay the bills for you. And then there is strict controls with evaluation. So this is the business side. This is your work side. This is how you operate. Just in a nutshell. There's a lot of other things, but in a nutshell, that's how you operate. Now, when you leave the gate, or you leave some of you work from home, so when you close that specific office door and you go into your home environment, the problem that most people have, they don't have a strategy for their personal life. Now, funny enough, if I had to ask somebody, listen, where do you see your business in the next year? You'll have an idea. I'll have so many more clients. I will have so many more deals. My aim is to have this turnover. But I have to ask you, so where are you going to be in the next year? I don't know. Wherever my work takes me. Am I right? And that's a problem. Because it needs to be balanced. The second thing is, most people in their personal capacity don't have a vision. So, this lady said this morning, she had enough of corporate life and she decided to go on her own. That's vision. But unfortunately, it's reactive. We decide, listen, yeah, I've been working and my kids have grown up. I've lost so much time with them. And it's too little too late now, basically. Because we didn't have a vision when we started. You don't know where you're going to be in your personal capacity. There's an old saying that goes, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And then we do not do research. But in your business capacity, you do a lot of research. So if you start your own business in the local area, the first thing you do is, how many of the similar types of business are there? How many of the similar type of agents are there? Am I right? But in your personal capacity, you don't do that. It's just, it is what it is, and we're going to get there. Or do you do research? And the other one is, it's a bonus approach. So if something good happens in your life, if something happens in your personal capacity, it's a bonus. We didn't. If it pans out that way, it's fine. If there's something that stimulates us in our personal capacity, it's a bonus. We didn't plan for that. But if you get that contract at the end of the year, then you will turn around in your business capacity and you would say, yeah, I worked my behind off for that. Because there was a plan. It's not a bonus, I worked for that. Another one is, you don't evaluate yourself enough. Now, believe it or not, I have meetings with myself. Maybe I was going to see you also. I've got meetings with myself, whether it's in the car, whether it's at home. I review my finances and I cross-question myself. You would do it in your business, wouldn't you? But you don't do it in your personal capacity. So like take the wallet out of your car. You're like, there's 500 installed, so let's go. Because it's your private capacity. It's as if you have a split personality when it comes between your business and yourself. You treat it totally different. But you shouldn't. As business owners, and successful business owners I might have, you should be able to apply it in both areas. And another one, the next one I want to talk about is the true value of time. Now, if you are a contractor, or better yet, if you go to a doctor, a consultancy fee, 350, 400. And what do? We pay. Because that's the worth of his service. Whether he sees you for 5 minutes or an hour, anything from 1 minute to 60 minutes, that's the number. Do we understand what's our value? Do you know what your value is? Or do we say, the turnover, we've done this turnover, there's a salary for me, Bob Charcoal. Let me show you something. If you have an employee working for you, and they squander hour and a half, say hour and a half per day, which they don't work, on the internet, not for work, drinking coffee, on the phone with a friend. You know, the hour and a half can be squandered just like that. You know how quickly that goes by. And you pay them, say 100 rand an hour, which is a high rate, but say 100 rand an hour. And they are employed for 30 years, because that's the average employment time for people in their lives. Whether you work at different companies, if you earn 100 rand an hour for 30 years, and they would have wasted, on average, 1.5 hours per day, it will equate, it will equate to 1.17 million over 30 years. That would have been lost in productivity as an employee. So if somebody works for you and this is how they waste time, that's the amount of money that you've lost. You still pay them. So if you had to invest 1.17 million over 30 years, the amount, cash amount, you contribute 3,500, 4,000 rand a month. In 30 years' time, the value would be 10.7. So I suggest you do everything yourself and rather invest 3,500 next month. Because that's your return on investment right there. But it's important that you know that. What is the value of your time and what is the value of your employees' time? What do they earn and what are they supposed to, what is the return on investment for them? Same scenario if it's for you. You know what you're worth, I suppose, and I hope you know what you're worth. As you sit here today, do you know what is your hourly rate? So if you earn 30,000 rand a month, 1,000 rand a day, you work 10 hours roughly, because if you work for yourself, you work more. It's 100 rand an hour. But every time you don't apply yourself to that and make the same amount of money, you're going backwards. Your business is going backwards. So next time you have a casual cup of coffee in work time, think about that. I don't say you have to be like a robot, but it is important that you understand the value of your time and what's the potential for you. Like this morning, this is a business breakfast. This is one of the best investments that you will ever make. And I will say that without knowing anything. This is one of the best investments that you will ever make. I've seen 3 people I have to speak to before I leave here this morning, which will result in business. The third one is becoming overconfident. Now we know this gentleman. There's a famous line in that movie. The movie's called Judge Dredd. It's like, I am the law. You know? Yeah, thank you. So as business owners, that's us. I started this business. I know this business. I've been there since the beginning. Just make sure you're not the end. But it's important that you need to understand this. Because everybody that works with you, anybody that you get in as a consultant, anybody that you get in to assist, you need to listen to them. Because it doesn't mean that if you've done it for 10 years, that you know what you're doing. Credentials is only valid until yesterday. Today is a new day. Credentials doesn't carry weight, only a reputation. Let me prove this to you. I want to ask you, ladies, and a handful of gentlemen, 3 questions. You can participate. What did you say before you answer that? Your answer, if you are confident about your answer, you give me two numbers. So the population of the USA, if I say it's between 100 and 150 million, it's close. The gap is close. So I'm confident. I think this is the number. If you're not confident, then you say, well, between 0 and 100 million, basically. Okay. So, who wants to take a guess? What do you think is the population if you had to give it between 2 numbers, population of the USA?
Between 220 million and 230 million.
220, 230. Now this is intelligent, gentlemen. I can tell you, he looks intelligent, he looks human, by the way, and it's very close. So he's confident that he's right. Okay, anybody else? No, just guess.
More than 70.
Obviously. 2 numbers, give me 2 numbers there. 270 and? 270 and 300. So you're also very confident that you are spot on.
What about 450 million to a billion?
Because you're not confident. Am I right? Because 450 to a billion means that you're not sure. Am I right? And I say again, everybody here looks intelligent, they own their own business. We'll get back to the answer. Next question. What is the net worth of Warren Buffett at 2012? Anybody want to give me 2 numbers there? Mike, come on. Between what and what? Between 5 and 10 billion. So you semi-sure. Semi-sure. Okay, 5 and 10 billion. Okay?
Not sure.
Anybody? There's no wrong answer.
150 million.
150 and?
155.
155. You're very sure. 150 and 155 million. Okay.
As far as I'm recording, it's about 20 billion US dollars.
20 billion to?
$222 billion.
20 to 22 billion. So you're also quite sure of yourself. Okay. What is the GDP for South Africa in US dollars? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. If you're not sure, then you just make the numbers wider. In US dollars.
Very little.
500,000 to 600,000.
500 to 600. So you're quite sure of yourself. It must be in that gap. Okay. Anybody else?
0.5%.
In rand, in dollar value. In dollar value. I need to put you on the spot. What are you losing? No idea. Okay. So the answer to the first one. What is the population of USA? Now we had a couple of confident answers here. 313 million. Okay. Not too bad. So some of you were correct and some of you were way off. Second one. What is the net worth of Warren Buffett? 62 billion. You know what $1 billion is? $1 billion is 1,000 million. 1 billion is 1,000 million. Okay, just sleep over that. And the third one is 350 billion.
Serious?
Yeah.
Serious?
Hard to believe, isn't it?
That's not taken, please.
Yeah, we wouldn't say that. What I want to illustrate here is that we become overconfident. Nobody had this correct, but yet you were confident in your answer. So I know this business. I started it. I say we do this, this, this. Who says you're going to be right? Make the time and the effort to consult. Do your research. Make sure you're in the right track. Then you will not fail. I guarantee. Don't be the be all and the end all.